What's going on there, guys? We got some more Lord of the Rings Hunt for Gollum news here. We have a couple of rumors that we're going to be talking about. Leo Woodall supposedly to be cast as Strider in the Lord of the Rings Hunt for Gollum. We do not have any official announcement to be made just yet. This is just rumored, posted by Lord of the Rings U or LOTR Universe on Twitter. And following up with that, we have Anya Taylor-Joy is reportedly in talks for the female lead role in the Lord of the Rings Hunt for Gollum. If this supposedly, according to this rumor that is coming from Daniel RPK, if this news is true and a deal is reached, Anya Taylor-Joy will most likely play Galadriel or another female elf character. So we have a couple of different talks for some major roles here coming out for Hunt for Gollum. A lot of recasts are going to be coming for Hunt for Gollum. We have Aragorn no longer being played by Viggo Mortensen, as well as Anya Taylor-Joy to possibly be playing Cate Blanchett's Galadriel. There's no official announcement in that regarding either of those castings, but also it has been confirmed that Hugo Weaving will not be playing Elrond. He said himself that he is done with Middle-earth. So there's a lot of confusion and questions for what could possibly be coming for our Lord of the Rings characters and what we could be expecting. The only returning cast members that have been confirmed so far is Ian McKellen as Gandalf, Elijah Wood as Frodo, and Andy Serkis reprising his infamous Gollum role as well. So these are kind of the talks here, and there's a lot of people that are questioning a lot of things. There's a lot of people that are really kind of hurting from a lot of this, and honestly, I want to just kind of think about this as a Tolkien fan and what we could be expecting as a Lord of the Rings fan as a whole. And honestly, I think that when it comes down to it, we are cooked if we are complete purists or very strong lovers of the Peter Jackson trilogy. I think there's a lot of conversation about what could possibly be happening with the Lord of the Rings IP, and I think it has just hit a point where we're going to be seeing that IP divvied out amongst so many other people. I don't think we're going to be seeing quite a Star Wars situation where it's just going to be Lord of the Rings stuff getting put out left and right, but I do think that making content based off of the source material is honestly just not going to be happening as strongly as we want. We've been seeing a lot of filmmakers that have been divvying away from a lot of the original source material for their shows. I know the Narnia show that's coming out on Netflix, they even said themselves that they're not going to be relying heavily on C.S. Lewis's books and going to be creating their all new take on Narnia. And I think that's just going to be what we're going to be expecting for Lord of the Rings media going on in the future as well. The Tolkien estate has even said multiple times that they're going to be very protective over their rights, so I don't think we're going to be seeing anything happening outside of the rights from The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings books, which leaves a lot to be desired for the content that can be made when you only have those four media sources to be working with. And don't get me wrong, I love anything and everything that can happen that's Tolkien related. I really want to see a lot of more stories get expanded upon. I would love to see things from the Silmarillion being brought out onto whether it's a live action show or an animated show. Those are kind of the things that I want to see. I don't expect we're going to be seeing a lot of those. I think instead we're going to be seeing a lot of original content, such as things like War of the Rohirrim is going to become a lot more of the normality for what is to be expected for Lord of the Rings and just Middle-earth adaptations in general. Now, personally, I know I've said this a lot, and I say as a big defender of this original content is I'd rather see more original content that is based off of Tolkien than just seeing nothing in general. And it's something where the more that I think about it, the more I honestly kind of actually feel a bit of a state of mourning, because I do love Tolkien's content. I love so much of what Tolkien has to offer and what his world has. Lord of the Rings and Middle-earth has just been such a thing for me that I have loved, and it's not just something like a movie that I watched a lot as a kid or a book series that I grew up reading and became obsessed with. For me, Lord of the Rings is spending hours outside in the woods with my brothers and with now my step family with sticks playing Lord of the Rings. Like, that's what I have a ton of memories of, as well as spending hours upon hours playing Lord of the Rings Return of the King on co-op, and now building the Lord of the Rings speedrunning community, all just based around these memories that I've had as a kid. And so to see it now get branched out into something else is both exciting and terrifying, and I genuinely don't know exactly how I really want to feel. I really want to see Lord of the Rings being handled in a way that is respectful for the material that Tolkien had created, as well as I want to see more things happen. I think the world of Middle-earth is something that expands even beyond just the things that Tolkien has written, because there's stories that have been written about and even just hypothesize that could be happening during the main events without any real detail. You know, one of the stories that I think about is the battle at Erebor during the War of the Ring that took place during the same exact time as the Battle of the Black Gate. You know, there's just so much that happens in Tolkien's world that is completely and utterly untouched, and it leaves a lot for fun stories like this. And I think it's something that makes for interesting content, but at the same time, it does pull away from Tolkien's original vision. And it's something that, unfortunately, with the world that we are in right now and what we are going to be expecting from this, is that Tolkien's original vision, while it remains in his books, the vision for the future of the Lord of the Rings IP is honestly gone for what we could be expecting now. I think that all started with Peter Jackson's movies. When you create something as incredible as Peter Jackson's movies, you create something that really just opens the door for other people to go and add their own flair to it, which is what Peter Jackson did. It's why he added things like the elves showing up at Helm's Deep, or he added Arwen showing up at Helm's Deep and then inevitably took that away. There's just so much that gets added on and changed that other people want to start doing the same thing, and then the original glory of the books becomes lost. Now, I'm not somebody who wants to dwindle on this and make it seem like we're cooked and that the world is over, because as we all know, the tide will eventually turn. But when that will happen and where that will happen, I don't know. But at least for right now, I think we can honestly say that as Lord of the Rings fans, the Middle-earth that we have wanted and the Middle-earth that we see from Peter Jackson's original trilogy and from the books itself is just not going to happen. As hard of a reality as it is to accept, it just is the reality. People are going to take the Lord of the Rings IP and they're going to throw things in there to make it as big of a cash grab as they possibly can. I want to have a ton of faith in the Hunt for Gollum. I think Peter Jackson, Philippa Boyens, and Fran Walsh are going to be the ones that are going to, if we're going to see a pullback to what we know and love, it's going to be from this movie. If it's not going to be from this movie, I don't know what it's going to be. Anyways, just wanted to share my thoughts on that one. I still am trying to hold out hope for Hunt for Gollum. I know there's also a rumor that it's supposed to be like 3 movies. We'll see if that happens. I kind of hope not. I really don't want them to drag things out and have another Hobbit situation. But, you know, that's a whole story for another thing if I wanted to go into that. But either way, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, I do need to give a huge shout out to all my Ko-Fi supporters. You guys are the ones that help keep this channel running. So please, guys, do continue to support on Ko-Fi if you want early access to videos as well as some Ko-Fi exclusive content. There's going to be a lot of things that I'm planning on doing over on Ko-Fi. I might make a podcast that is just specifically meant for Ko-Fi supporters. So please, guys, do go and support there. That honestly is the best way to be able to financially support what we have going on here. And as always, you are loved, you are valued, you are fearfully and wonderfully made, and we will see you right back here in the next one. Have a wonderful rest of your day, everybody.